Welcome to my UI guide for BDO. We're going to discuss how to set up your UI, when you spawn as a new player, and then we're going to go through a little bit more of the advanced tactics for UI as well. So getting right started when you spawn in for BDO, it's going to look like something like watching Corn with absolutely no ad blockers. So like, let's go ahead and fix that right away. You hit escape. You want to click on settings just like this. And on the side, you're going to click general settings right here. You come down to alerts like this, and you need to toggle basically every single one of these alerts off. You really don't want any of these on. Some masochists that I know absolutely keep enhancement failure on just because they like watching other people suffer. If that is you, you can go ahead and keep that one on. They just like the idea that no one else succeeds because they never succeed either, and I totally get that. There's also, so you basically want to toggle all this stuff off. There are certain instances where you want to toggle horse market worker exchange. If you're trying to snipe a horse or a worker off the marketplace for one reason or another, you can toggle that back off, but really all of this stuff should kind of be off. Zone change you can keep on. I've kept that on for 7 years. It helps you know when you're in a safe zone and when you're not in a safe zone, but you can toggle that off as well. Fitness levels I like to have on because, like, honestly, it doesn't level up very often, and I like the sound that it makes when it does. It makes me feel good. You can turn off conquest and guild wars. Basically all of these can be turned off as well. I keep guild missions on so that I can see whether there's a guild mission on my channel and who's doing it. Maybe I can go help them, etc. That's pretty cool. The rest of this you can basically turn off too if you'd like as well, but that's basically how to save the UI off the bat. If we're talking about the game window settings, I recommend full screen window unless you're running a really bad PC or you're trying to maximize FPS, in which case you can go into full screen. Make sure the resolution is set to what you want. UI scale, this makes the buttons and stuff bigger on your UI, so I'll go ahead and... well, it's not going to do it right now, so bad example. But like this will make it basically everything bigger. It'll make your everything blow up on your UI. When you try to, maybe if I click apply, boom. Yeah, you see how much bigger that is? And this is great if you're kind of an old timer, or if you like the numbers, like the big numbers on the phone. You know, if your son or daughter just bought you a phone with numbers larger than your fingers, that's probably a good thing for you as well. Then you come down here. Let's see. Let's go to display quality here. Obviously, set this to whatever your system can handle. I do have a 4090. I can run in remastered, no problem. You see, I have really high FPS. It's basically the highest setting you can. Anti-aliasing is going to change whether or not, depending on what kind of graphics card and stuff you have. But again, if you have NVIDIA and an Intel, TAA is totally fine. If you want to optimize your settings and optimize your computer for BDO, which I do highly recommend, I recommend getting the Invicta package. Like whether you use my creator code down in the description or you use any of the other creator codes in the Black Desert category, because basically everyone has a code for Invicta because they support everything in our community. They are absolutely worth it, and I vouch for them 100%. They will increase your FPS by about 100, no matter what system you're running on. It's actually just kind of crazy. I remove others' effects in PvP, like large-scale PvP, but I would keep this toggled off in most cases. Remove faraway effects. You could keep that toggled off as well, as long as you're not doing like large-scale PvP. If you have an AMD graphics card, I highly recommend using the super resolution. It is really solid, and this is probably one of the biggest ones, is the low power option needs to be off. Otherwise, it will run your game at a snail's pace. It's really rough. Really rough. You can turn that on when you go to bed and stuff. Keep in mind, the bottom left here, you can save presets for your UI in the bottom left here. So like if you want to have like an AFK preset where the low power option is on, so you use less computer juice while you're sleeping, you can absolutely do that. When you come down here to the effects here, I usually keep everything just right on the 0, but you can see that you can adjust the gamma either way. These are really settings that you will apply in game, especially if you're running on remastered. Sometimes the game gets a little dark or a little shiny, so you can kind of come in here and adjust these, especially like the contrast. If the game's a little dark, you can adjust the contrast to be able to see again. That's basically what we typically use that for. Effect opacity is really nice because sometimes some characters have really like visible effects. Like the game looks beautiful. The problem is in large scale PvP, if you're trying to do that, you're probably going to want to have effect opacity turned all the way down, because then you're going to be able to see people's health bars and what skills they're casting. Instead of paying attention, if you're good at PvP, instead of paying attention to like the skill effects, you will watch what the character is physically doing, and that will tell you what skill they're using. Okay, because every single skill in the game has a very unique way that the character actually casts it, and that's probably the best way to learn how to do it anyway. Combat focus. I keep this at 100%. You can turn that off if you'd like to. I'm not even entirely certain. What even is combat focus, guys? Hold on, let me... adjust the intensity of the focused effect during combat. I usually have this turned... You can keep it at 100. Mine's at 100. I'm not really entirely certain with this. Color vision aid. This is for colorblind people. So you can put on the different colorblind modes here. Camera graphics. This is one of the most important things I see new players mess up on. Your camera vision range needs to be set to 100. Okay. If we see you zoomed in like this, we're going to make fun of you. Okay. We want this, not that, like, not this, this. You get to see more of the world. You get to see more of what's around you. It's absolutely amazing. Camera effects basically need to be turned all the way off unless you're trying to do some sort of screenshot or something. Typically, especially if you're a streamer or a content creator, you need to have this off or people get like motion sickness watching your stream. Not a good thing. Some people do like their screen shake and stuff on. You can play like that for a while. I assure you, after thousands of hours, you're going to want to turn this off eventually. But you can toggle it on when you want to. Obviously, camera zoom and stuff. I would keep this basically all of these at 50, and you can kind of adjust when you want to. Screenshot mode. Obviously, when you hit print screen on your keyboard here, it actually saves to the Black Desert file. So if I hit print screen like this, and then I open the files on my computer, I go to Documents, Black Desert, and then you click on Screenshot. You can see all the different screenshots. It'll be right here. So here's the one that I just took right here. Okay, so if you're trying to take screenshots, I highly recommend, are we at the bottom of this? Not quite yet. If you're trying to take screenshots, you can hit F1 or Control U. We'll turn off the entire UI. On the right side, you'll see the key guide. You can do slow-mo. You can change the contrast. You can put on different tints, change the weather, change the time of day, whatever. And then when you're ready to take the screenshot, hit F1. And then you can basically take the screenshot however you want, because it will turn the entire UI off just like this. Okay. Settings. Okay, let's go to audio. Audio, a lot of people don't like the music. Well, people turn the music off right away. I'd argue that the music in the game is actually really, really good. But you can basically just adjust all your audio settings in here. Some people really do like the Japanese or the Korean language, and I'll admit, it is kind of good sometimes. I'm not even a weeb, and sometimes it do kind of hit different. Combat music you can turn off as well. I like combat music on because it tells me when another player tags me for PvP, or when there's like, when I start hitting mobs and stuff, it'll basically immediately trigger the combat music, and that's another indicator that, hey, I need to get ready to fight. You can turn a system tray sound and stuff on. You also have sound effect volume and all this stuff down here. You can kind of adjust this as you want to. In the general settings, we already went over alerts, but this is all the quality of life stuff. This is pretty... Yeah, this is all very situational, and you really don't need to save almost any of this stuff. I will say the big thing that the people like to change is the font. People feel very strongly about the font. I personally like Strong Sword, but you can absolutely use Deja Vu Sans. They look different. I think Strong Sword actually looks a little bit clearer in my opinion. Names and rankings. I leave the name of my character on. I also leave the names of the enemy characters on. But that's because I like to see the title and stuff above my name. I really enjoy that. I also like to see if enemy players are flagged for PvP, you will be able to see it much more clearly if their names are on. So like when you flag for PvP, you'll see right next to my name, I got a little red spark right here. That means I'm flagged. Their name will also appear red as well. Okay. So you know you're about to be engaged. So, but if you're in large scale PvP, a lot of people turn names off. At least their ally names off, and they keep enemy names on to make it much clearer who is an ally and who's an enemy. Okay, yeah, so you have display others names, monster HP gauge. I recommend keeping all of these on. Turning monster HP gauge off would be a nightmare in PvE in a lot of cases. And again, these are just all of the nitpicky settings. You don't really need to worry about these too much. I would turn off hide other campsites. I hide the fairy immediately because I don't want that woman talking to me at all. She's really annoying. She's basically Tink from Peter Pan, except way more annoying. Hide pets. A lot of people like to show all my pets so you can constantly see whether or not your pets are out. I don't really like having the pets on the screen. And keep in mind, the more stuff that's on your screen, the lower your FPS will be. So I highly recommend like hiding your pets and things like this. Custom HP bar. This is one that I highly recommend having on. The lower one is way better. I know the top left HP bar, we're going to get into this a little later. I know the top left HP bar looks appetizing, but I promise you it's probably easier to see the other one. And we'll get into why later. Hit detection, defense icon, miss effects. I keep all of this stuff on. Skill combo guide, sure. And transparent mask. This is a big one. If you're a ship person, it will actually... The ship masks in BDO are absolutely massive. Okay, and if you don't have transparent masks on, you're constantly trying to see around the mast of your ship. It's absolutely a nightmare. So this is where you find that. Here's the alerts right here. We went through this already, so I'll go ahead and skip right over that. World map. This is another big thing for players. People have their preferences with this. I highly recommend no animation at 90 degrees, just like your dick. Okay, like, because then your map opens and you lose way less FPS and it just looks better. Okay, you just hit M, boom, there's the map right there. The spinning map opening style, the 45 degrees looks like this, and then it like kind of rotates like this. It's okay at the start. It's good for RP purposes, but I'll be honest, it's way easier to just open the map and be able to scroll around and find your location and where you want to go if you have it at 90 degrees. So that's the one I highly recommend. Plus, if you put a map on a table, it's way easier to look at it if you're 90 degrees above the map, right? Like, region. Obviously, just mark your region down. Miscellaneous here. You can set your UI thing. We're in spring now, so I'll go ahead and change my over to spring. You can see that, like, you have like winter stuff on the UI here. If I click apply, boom. Then I go back to settings. You can see it changed the UI colors, and now we're more of a spring theme. So you can absolutely do that and keep your UI like themed and stuff like that. Navigation. So this is the pathing. If you don't know where to find this, it's actually in the bottom right of your screen as well. You can basically get to it immediately. Down here, chat is kind of covering it. But when you open your map, you can see the navigation settings in the bottom right, the little cog wheel down here. You can actually change this very quickly. If you're trying to do bartering, usually you're going to want quick route exact. I don't really like smooth very much. Short route can work, but quick route exact helps the boat steer a little bit faster. And a little bit more precise when you're going from point A to point B. The ocean pathing can get a little hairy, but you can kind of play with those. It depends on how quickly your characters are taking corners and stuff. If you're doing like an auto path overnight for your horses and stuff. Guys, which one is the one for the auto path with your horses and stuff? I forget which one you want. I have exact and exact here, and the reason is I like them to go exactly to the point I want and then exactly to the next point, because if you put it on smooth, what ends up happening is the character kind of goes like around where you want, and it could get hit by rocks and stuff. So if you're gonna do an auto path overnight, highly recommend exact. Chat interactions, I have reject YAR invites, but you can turn that off too. I would have all of these turned off in most cases. Minimap guide, all of this can be turned off. Auto run camera speed, I have this just set at the default 10. This is the interface settings, so this will tell if you want to change what button is bound to keybinds. This is where you're going to do that for your action hotkeys and whatnot. You have UI hotkeys in here as well. Okay. Quick slot hotkeys. These are your quick slots for your the right side of your thing. You actually have to turn these on though. Separate quick slot, each quick slot. This one. This is the setting that needs to be on if you want to use your quick slots in BDO. Okay, this needs to be on. Otherwise, for whatever reason, they won't let you actually toggle them on. When you open this window for the first time, your C16 through 20 or your C10 through or 1 through 20 will not be enabled. You have to flip that setting on. And we'll get into the nitty-picky with that here in a second when we finish this menu. The interface menu, again, you can change all of the different interactions. One important thing that I would say that for like guild stuff, like large-scale PvP, that people have to change pretty frequently is miscellaneous hotkeys. This one right here. So like cancel navigate, show location to guild members. This is your ping button to guild members. So people ask you how to ping on the map and stuff. So you can set it to whatever you want, but like I would have that set. Default, it should be set to tilde, but I would double check. This mouse interface, you don't really want to change anything on here. If you want to invert the mouse, that's fine. Horizontally or vertically, that's fine. And then here's your sensitivity. But like honestly, your mouse is probably going to be programmed with a set sensitivity anyway. So I wouldn't bother messing with the settings in game. Mouse to move is an extremely important feature. I would flip this on in most cases, even if you don't use mouse move on your character, because it helps you click on stuff in game. UI mode lock, I have that turned off as well. I'm not entirely certain. Mouse worker will not go outside the game display. I have that turned off personally because I'm a streamer and I have to be able to tab out of the game very quickly. What I do for mouse to move is I actually have my control button, which is like you press control to take control of your mouse. Otherwise, you just do this in the game. Okay, your character's just basically locked onto, and you can move the camera around. But if you press control, it gives you control of your cursor, and you can click on things on your screen. Okay, I actually have my mouse button is bound to control. Okay, so like when I want to mouse move, I can very quickly hit the mouse button, and I can mouse move my mouse. It also makes it way easier to press than control's kind of awkward to press. And if you're trying to click on stuff very quickly, it just saves a little bit of time, right? Even if you're not trying to mouse move skills, I highly recommend putting that on one of your mouse buttons if you can. But yeah, that's basically all of the settings in the settings menu here. You can go back to the old menu. I don't even remember how to go. This is the far better menu. You should just use this one, okay? I also want to point out that on this left side here, you absolutely can pin things to your recently used UI. So if you find yourself in a menu really frequently, you can basically right-click one of the menus and click pin, and then it will always be here immediately. You don't have to navigate in all these menus, which can be kind of annoying. Like you can find everything that you want to use very quickly right here. So you can see I have my item collection increase gauge. That's something that I use very frequently for grinding and stuff. So I can just like click that, and then it just pops up on my screen right here like this. Okay. And then this is your item. Let's go over that real quick. The item collection increase gauge, you have 1 level and 2 levels for this. Okay. You can only toggle it every 5 minutes. So like once you toggle it on, it's going to go for 5 minutes at least. Okay. And then you can toggle it off again. Okay. But like the level 2 loot scroll is going to burn your loot scrolls twice as fast, basically. But you will get more loot at most grind zones. I recommend looking at my grind zone guides, or checking like garmoth.com to see whether you should be using blue or yellow. If you're a new player, I highly recommend using blue loot scroll until you get a lot of item collection scrolls. Item collection scrolls look like this. Okay. So you can see I have a lot of these. I have thousands of these things, but that's because I've been playing for a really long time. It will take you a while to kind of accumulate these, and I recommend only using one at a time when you're starting out. You can change the side that it's on by toggling it at the top here. You can absolutely toggle align left, align right. I like it on the left because that's where it kind of came out for the very first time. You can also edit the menu. So at the top here, you can put like your most used things. Okay. Okay, and you can kind of just click and then click the menu that you want to put up there. So if I want to click the question mark and instead I want to have war up there, okay, now I can put war up there instead. Okay, I want that to be the Black Spirit. Yeah, so you have to select which menu you want. So like if I want to access the Black Spirit very quickly from my escape menu, I could put the Black Spirit up here. I could click save, and now I could just open my Black Spirit from the menu. Okay, so like there's a lot of ways you can customize this menu, and it'll take you some time to figure out what you're going to use. I just recommend pinning the stuff that you use all the time so you don't have to go looking for it every time. In the information tab, let's see, all the I probably won't go through all the stuff in here. I don't really need to. You'll use it as you need it kind of deals. But reward, this is like I'll very briefly go through it. Information is where you're going to find crafting notes, copyright stuff, war hero stuff. People don't really go in here very much. Adventurer's guide, I highly recommend just not use it. Like this is an okay resource for new players, but you're probably better off just looking it up on YouTube. Somebody has made a guide for it, whether it be Anders, Chris Pully, myself, or what have you. Let's see, character. This is going to be your skill menu. That's just on K anyway, guys. So like you really don't need that. but like anything you need for your character will be in there. Reward, this is all your login rewards, Black Spirit Safe, Black Spirit Adventure, stuff like that. Obviously, the shop is the Pearl Shop in the Central Market. The difference between the two is the Pearl Shop is the one you spend money, like IRL, US dollars, or whatever country that you're in on. In the Central Market is the in-game marketplace. Let's see. Adventure. This is going to open your Black Spirit. It'll show you your Dark Rifts. It'll open your map. Adventure Log Bookshelf. This is something that a lot of new players struggle to find right away. That is under Adventure. You click Adventure Log Bookshelf. This is where your adventure logs are going to be. Thoughts and prayers. Life stuff. This is basically your worker list, but again, you can find your worker list up here. In most cases, you're probably going to be accessing it from the menu in game, which we will go over in just a moment. You can manage your sailors. The bartering menu is also in here as well. Let me close this real quick. You also have war. This is where you're going to find battle arena, RBF, or red battlefield. This is for player versus player. It's uncapped in most cases, but there are capped instances of the RBF. If you see like the yellow icon, you can see those are seasonal servers. Those are usually not very populated, I'm going to admit. And then the Valencia City, these are all uncapped RBFs and different types of RBFs. We're hoping that they update those game modes soon. Copium. You also have Battle Arena. That's where you're typically going to go with your friends and stuff. And then if people, as a new player, most frequently, people will say GM buffs BA 10. That means they want you to go to Battle Arena 10, and there will be a GM standing in the Battle Arena, like basically right off of where you spawn in. You click the Battle Arena right here. You simply scroll down, you click BA 10, and you click Enter, and it will take you into a place called the Battle Arena. Okay, so you spawn in right here. Usually the GM is standing right over here on this dais right here. You can see these are the statues of all of the adventurers. These are the statues of all of the adventurers that won Arena of Solaris. So these are the best characters on every single class in the game. So if I walk up to this one right here, this is a ranger, and Flannels, of course, dressed himself in typical ranger fashion. It just wouldn't be a ranger, guys, unless he had some super thick French maid outfit on. If you chat with the statue, it'll actually give you a blessing. And as a new player, I highly recommend doing this because it does give you breath EXP plus 10%. That'll help you train your breath up. Which is right here. This is your stamina. Every time your breath levels up, you have more stamina, so you can run for longer. Okay. But the Battle Arena is a place that you can come in and you can practice your combos. These mobs over here can be CC'd, and then everything outside of this gate right here is a big open field where you can PvP other players with absolutely no penalty, and you can kind of practice your combos and stuff. All right, so we have the function tab. Notepad, you can actually set up notes. My only note was on October 8th, 2022, and that's when I discovered that there actually was a notepad, as it were. So if you click the check mark, it'll actually leave it here. This was useful back in the day. You could put various world boss information up here. You could put information like for your skill combos and stuff like that. It's less required now because you can put like key inputs under your different skills, which we're going to go over in a little bit, but you can basically put any notes that you want in here from the notepad. You also have made butler list. This is also acceptable or accessible from up here. This is how most people are going to find it. Just like this, you have your storage, your central market, and then these are all right down here. It'll tell you how many you have available as well. You also always going to want to have this command, this group command. This needs to be on. That way you can use multiple maids at once when you want to transfer goods. It's way better. This is the campsite. This will allow you to take out your tent if you do choose to buy one. Ferry. Again, you can click on your ferry, but again, there's a tent icon up here. There's a ferry icon up here as well, so they will open the menus. Let's go over these menus really quickly after I finish this. Community. This is where you're going to find your guild menus, your chat filters, chat groups, things like this. And you can choose a chat group as well. Where is chat group? Right here. So you can choose which chat group you're in. I will warn you that people like to meme in the chat groups, but I will say that you can kind of pick the one that seems most appealing to you. I'm almost always in the Dancing Marlin Tavern because it is the least degenerate of the 8. And it also, people post where guild missions are in that as well. So people are constantly trying to help each other. If you do want class health, or if you want class help, I do recommend going to the Lunar Halo Inn. Although just as a warning, there are new players that will, there are veteran players that will troll you. in there. So take that with a grain of salt. Oh, find my item. This is an extremely important menu. Okay, you can actually access this in game. You don't have to open this through the UI. You can just hit Control F like everything else in your life. You just Control F and it will come up, and then you can search for the item that you want. So if I want firecrackers, they're right here. Right, you just type in what you want and then it'll locate it for you. And then if I want to pull that item out of storage, I can do that immediately with my maids. Okay, so it makes things very easy to access and find on your account, because you're going to lose stuff all the time. You're going to get a lot of items. They are simplifying the game, but it does make it easier. You have Yar in here. This is the game mode. This is basically Yahtzee for BDO. And people will challenge you to that as kind of a meme all the time. It's actually kind of a fun game. Okay, so this is all of the menus in here. Now we're gonna go to the menus in the top left of your screen here. This one calls your horse. You just click the button and your horse is called to your location. If you want to left click the button if you want to get the horse called to you. If you're too far from the horse, you can actually right click the button and it will path you to your horse. Okay, so I just pulled out that horse right there. Okay, if I want to call the horse, I just reach up to the top left, I left click horse. And the horse runs straight to you. If he's really far away, he will just teleport to you. Okay. If I run away from the horse again and I right click the horse icon, it'll path me to the horse. And then you can just hit T and let Jesus take the keyboard. Your character will just path to your horse. Okay. It's the giant one that says parking above it. It's probably one of my favorite things in the whole game. The next one is your residences. This will give you a list of what residences you have. So you can see Grana, that's where I do my cooking, my alchemy. And basically it's a scene from Breaking Bad. In there. Heidel, this is where all my house buffs are, so you can see that as well. This is a really good way, because sometimes you lose track of where your contribution is invested. It's a really good way to kind of keep track of that. This is your worker list here, the pickaxe here. You can see I have 113 workers, so they are working around the clock. And if you want to know how to set up workers and stuff, I do have a worker empire guide for that as well. You can go ahead and check that out, what nodes you're going to want for that. But you can see that they all have a task, and I can kind of manage them as I need to right there. This next one is the garden icon. This is where all my farms are, and it'll tell you how far along the farms are and which of my workers is actually working on the farms. This next one is the pet menu. This is this little pet list right here, and you can basically, the pet UI is actually pretty straightforward. Obviously, you can feed your pets here. I will note that if you have no feed on your person, and then you do control find, and you go, okay, I need some feed, okay, and you pull out 20 feed. You have to close the menu and then reopen it in order for it to register that you have feed. Okay, now I want to feed them. It'll register that I have feed there. Okay, let's go over maids real quick. This is what your maid menu looks like. We went over this before. Make sure this maid and butler command at the bottom is toggled on. If it is toggled off, you will not be able to transfer things to storage. You can only basically transfer one thing at a time. So if I want to transfer a bunch of stuff to storage, you can only use one maid at a time. That sucks. You want to be able to use all your maids all the time, so you just toggle that on all the time. Okay, this is your tent menu. Okay, you click this. If you're installing your tent for the very first time, you need to make sure that you open it in the Pearl shop. You're gonna right click it. It'll like use it basically. If you have the free to play tent, you can walk out here and you can basically right click the tent, and it should install for the first time, or should tell you how to install it. But you just click this item up here. You click install campsite, and your tent pops out like this. Okay, this is what the tent menu looks like. You have the storage. The premium tent does have a lot of storage on it. It's got actually, what, 18 slots here? Or 16 slots, I apologize. You can repair your gear at it, which is the primary function that we like to use the tent for. It'll also give you this special shop here, where you can buy potions, and you can get this. The 50% tent buff is always worth it, no matter where you're grinding and what you're doing in the game, so you always want to pop the 50% tent buff if you're grinding. I'm going to save you the math on it. Just do it. Atanus Fireflies can be bought here too. They light up your character, so you don't need that fairy skill that people love so much, that basically lights up your character. You can also buy gold bars here as well for silver, but not very many people use that function very often. And then you can remote collect as well. Tag characters. Okay, you can tag. This is your tag character menu. You have to be in the same town as the character that you're tagging, and to untag, they have to be in the same town as well. Tagging a character does not mean that the weapons and armor are tagged as well. Okay, that is the item copy function. And that is basically all your gear has to be repaired. You put all your gear on, you click item copy, and then it'll copy to whatever character you happen to be tagged to. It's really simple. You have to have Marnie's unstable fuel. There are tag events that let you do it for essentially free. There is one of those going on right now at the making of this video, but it's not going on all the time. Outside of that event, tagging costs 200 mil for your armor and your artifacts, and your accessories, and then your weapons. The tagging costs a percentage of what the value of your weapons are. So if you have 3 pen black stars, it's going to cost you like 8 bill to tag. But if you have like, I don't know, like Tet Dandelion, you know, it's going to be basically free. It's going to be a joke. You know, you'll be tagging for less than 500 mil. You're fine. No big deal. But that's the tag menu there. When you tag a character, they share EXP. So basically, I recommend doing this for all players, even if you're not trying to play another class. What you should do, you cannot tag seasonal characters. So once you've graduated your main character and you have another character that you've graduated or isn't a seasonal character, you should just tag them together. You don't have to item copy them, just tag them together. That way, every time your main character goes out to grind, the other character also is getting EXP. So you're just leveling 2 characters at once instead of 1. It's a smart thing to do. The fairy menu, this is how you do. Okay, this is a pretty good fairy. Okay, this menu is not necessarily going to look like this when you start. If your fairy is not level 50, you're going to right click it for the first time. It's going to look like a basic version of this menu. It's going to be level 1. It's only going to have this gift plus 1 luck. All fairies start with that. Don't worry about it. Very importantly, and this is something that a lot of people don't know about your UI, is you click Alt and then you click LMB. Okay. Wait. Pause champ. Okay. It's going to open this quick hotkey settings menu. Okay. You can click list all. Okay. And you can actually bind different things to the hotkey. For example, I have minimize to tray on Alt plus M. So if I want to minimize the game, I just click Alt M. Boom. Game is gone. No questioning whether or not you want to go to the tray, no login stuff. You just, bam, it's gone. Okay. It's extremely useful, saves a tremendous amount of time. Lots of players don't know that you can do it. You can also hotkey your tent as well. Okay. You can also hotkey your maids as well. So I have my maids on Alt W. So if I want to click Alt W, it will pull open my maid menu, right? If I want to hit Alt Q, it'll pull up my tent, right? Alt A is to put the tent back away again. So like you can hotkey things to different buttons if you want, and it makes your game experience really easy. Obviously, find my item is automatically on Alt F. It's also on Control F, so you don't really have to worry about that. Okay. Now let's go over the UI itself. So if I click Edit UI, so this is what your Edit UI looks like. You can have different presets. So if I click preset 1, it will be slightly different. And if I click Edit UI, I click preset 2. It does move things around mildly. I have different presets for various things. We're going to talk about the custom HP bar first. If I unclick custom HP bar, this is what I was talking about before. This is what your HP bar looks like. I'll put this on preset 2 real quick. You can see that my HP bar is no longer at the bottom of my screen here. There's just a little HP bar right below my name, and then my big HP bar is in the top left up here. Some people do like that. Most of the big PvPers and stuff, where's the hotkey menu again? Again, you press Alt and then left mouse button on one of these menus right here. On any of these menus, you just click Alt, LMB, you open this up, click List All, and then make whatever hotkeys you want. Okay. Now, this custom UI bar, if I click Custom HP bar, click Save. Okay, hold on. So you'll notice that, like, the reason I don't like this is, number one, it's very hard to see what your contribution, energy, and whatnot are. And then there's no HP bar at the bottom. That's where your eyes are in PvP. That's where your eyes are in PvE as well. You don't want to be squinting to see this HP bar when you're like low on HP, and that's gonna happen whether you're a PvE or a PvP player. I highly recommend using the custom HP bar, unless you really like the one on the top left, in which case that's fine. This is what it looks like. Right, you can move this wherever you want, and it's way bigger, and you can see the number and stuff. But more importantly, in the top left, you can see little bars. You can see the energy, but like the bars, how close. You see that little yellow bar and how it's really close to the end right there? That means I'm very close to my next contribution point. That's why I like this menu. I can see how close that is, and I could see how far my energy is across, and then how close I am to my next skill point as well. It's also really, really nice. I just like the way that this is laid out better. personally, but it is a matter of personal preference. If you want to adjust perspective, no, don't really worry about this too much. This basically allows you to move up and down on your keybinds. You can do that with the arrow keys on your keyboard like this. So if I move down and up and then across like this, okay, it'll move the perspective. That's useful for screenshots and stuff. I believe that if you hold shift and then there's a control shift maybe. Well, one of them allows you to twist the camera. I don't really remember. Yeah. Something allows you to turn the camera like clockwise and counterclockwise, but it will give you motion sickness, so just be careful. You can turn it counterclockwise and clockwise. I think it's like control shift or something. I don't really quite remember, and nobody really uses that anyway. Show grid. This is extremely useful for organizing your UI. You can see just how far off different things are. Shift left and right. Okay, that did nothing. Thank you. That did absolutely nothing. But the show grid is extremely useful for lining stuff up. I will demonstrate to you how I have my skills and stuff set up. The way that I set up my skills, it's very simple. All of my movement skills for my class go right across the bottom because my eyes can see that very quickly, and I'm dashing. Okay. I think you need to be in screenshot mode to tilt the camera. Okay, let's see. Oh, yep, that's it. Okay, so if you're in screenshot mode, which we talked about before, you can tilt the camera like this. It is going to give my viewers motion sickness, so I'm going to stop doing that. It gave me motion sickness for a second. But yeah, basically all of my movement skills go across the bottom. Okay. And in the very first one is usually my my class buff, but Nova's class buff is a little different, so she doesn't have it here. But usually my... You know what? I'll switch over to my witch so that you guys can see exactly what's going on here. Again, this is my class buff on witch. These are my movement skills here. Okay. On the right side, these are my like my utility buffs. Okay, so this is PA, this is protected area, speed spell, this is healing lighthouse, that's my Rabam heal, that is magical shield. And on the left side, you can see my skill combo in order. Okay, so like I literally put them in order. I'm like, okay, I gotta use this, then 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 I gotta use this. Then I can use this and this and this and this and this, right? But like this is kind of my damage skills, and I kind of place them in order like this. One very important thing, and I'll swap back to the Nova for this because I have her UI organized beautifully to demonstrate this. Okay, so you can see that I actually have my skills like name, like I can put like their like this little text below them. And that helps you tremendously as a new player. If you're trying to learn a class and you're trying to remember what the skills are and whatnot, what's off cooldown, hit K to open your skill menu. And in the bottom right down here, chat is kind of somewhat blocking it. You click skill cooldown slot. Okay. And then you can put any skill on whatever cooldown you want. Like if you want to search for a skill, I can type in comment, right? And there's comment right there. And then you can put the text that you want underneath the skill, and it'll actually appear underneath the skill. Okay. When you spawn in for the very first time as a new player, there is something that's going to be on. It's this skill guide. Yeah, you're probably just going to turn that off. It's actually kind of useful for like the first like 10 minutes or so. And then for the remaining 7 years that you play the game, that's going to be off. So just hold that in mind. This main quest widget UI, also going to be off. Actually, turn this on. When you're a new player, you need to turn this on. Turn this one off. This quest widget, this is the irrelevant quest that nobody cares about. Turn that shit off. Okay, we'll get to this later. But like the main quest UI, you keep on. Okay, let me finish this up real quick. Okay, so we're on the skill menu. Hit K, you're on the skill menu. You have main, awakening, skill enhancements, and skill add-ons. Before you hit level 56, you really won't even be able to see this other stuff here. Okay. Skill add-ons basically just add extra effects to your skills, and you can put them on stuff at skill instructors. It's pretty... you can even click find the nearest skill instructor, and it'll take you there. I recommend just looking up a guide for your class. If you ever want to witch one, I have one on my channel for both Succession and Awakening. This is your skill enhancements. These are extra skills added to your kits. They basically combine 2 skills together to make a third skill, which is garbage in a lot of cases, but also good in some other cases. This is your Awakening skill tree, your main skill tree, etc. Down here at the bottom, you'll have core skills. on every class if you're an awakening. All these selected skills down here at the bottom are, they're just going to add something to your primary skills. Whatever skill you use the most, it'll either add a protection or a CC to the skills that you want to use. Okay, so like on Nova, I put it on Frozen Ring. I don't know if that's right or not. I don't know. I don't play Awakening Nova a whole lot. It's an incredibly fun class, but if I want to add a bound to Fencing Remiss, I can put it on this one. If I want to add a stiffness to Frozen Ring, I can put it on this one, right? So like it'll just enhance one of the skills that you already have in your kit. Okay. As far as your main skill tree, the way to read this is just, these are just your normal skills. When you get to secondary skills, these are usually your movement skills, and your passive skills are below them right here under passives. Okay. Do not take this one. Unless all of your other skills are done, do not touch weight training. It will suck the life out of you. Okay. It basically is designed to take all of your extra skill points and dump them into extra weight for your character. Okay. The only other skill that you need to know what to do with is there's a skill called evasion. And on a lot of classes in the game, you want to lock it immediately. So some of the newer classes were designed without it, I guess. And that's good, because on every other class in the game, you should generally be locking evasion. There's only like a couple classes in which you're not going to lock evasion, like Tamer is a notable exception, and I'm fairly certain that Berserker also does not like lock evasion. Right here, it looks like this. If your class has this, you need to lock it in most cases, okay? Otherwise, you're going to look like a noob. If anyone sees you do this, you're going to look like an idiot, okay? This is not an iframe in PvP. It's not even going to do it. I don't. It's weird. Oh. Like that. So you see how your character rolls? This is not an iframe in PvP, and it will get you killed. You can absolutely be CC'd in it, and people will do down attack damage to you. In PvE, it is technically an iframe, but it's so slow moving that you don't use it in conjunction with your other skills. So just don't do that. It's bad. Okay. So when you want to hide stuff in the UI, you click the little eyeball icon. I recommend keeping most of the red stuff on. This game tips thing. Okay. In the bottom left of your screen, there's going to be this game tips thing. Turn that shit off. It's dog. It's miserable. You're going to turn the quest widget UI off. You're going to turn the skill guide UI off. Eventually, when you're done with the main quest, you can turn that stuff off too. I don't recommend the keyboard input unless you're streaming. And then quick slot off. Yeah, not like particularly the biggest fan. Let's see. Yeah, so like I'm not sure exactly what this is, but like my quick slots are down here. I highly recommend turning these quick slots. These are the quick slots here. I highly recommend turning these on, and we talked about that setting before in the menus. Okay, you have to. There's a certain setting. It won't let you turn those on unless that setting is toggled on. Okay. You can organize it how you want. I keep mine the way that I do for stream. You can have multiple chat windows and organize where your chat windows are as well. Mine are kind of a mess right now because, well, I'm demonstrating how to make a UI. So like this, for example, I would pull this down like that. There we go. All right. And I think I got it all, guys. The skill log, I don't recommend this is on either. Party off, platoon off. You really want to have these toggled on, but like these will just turn on when you're in a party or when you're in a platoon. You don't toggle them on and off. They'll just be on by default when you join a party or platoon. It'll end up right up here. Okay. This mount thing, do not be dissuaded. If you turn this mount thing off, everything in that bar turns off. So you can't really turn that off because otherwise you can't access a lot of the UI up there. So like if you can turn it off, but like then you're just like, okay, well, it's kind of miserable. See, now all the stuff's back. And this is your wagon, by the way. If I happen to have a wagon, or I'm sorry, this is a guild mount. If I happen to have a guild mount, it'll show up here as well. Oh, the kill notification needs to be on. It's super satisfying. Even if you don't plan on doing PvP. Oh, dude, it feels so... The ting feels so good. These up here. These buffs. These are going to be very confusing to you. Let me go through these real quick. Happy Black Spirit. That was just a permanent buff that we got for just, like, installing the game. We don't know. Okay. Value pack, useful. Okay, but you can play without a value pack. The comma blessing, useful, but you can play without that. It'll tell you what the buffs are. You get energy recovery +2, item drop rate +20%, get warehouse capacity, and then your transaction maids will move slightly more stuff. Don't really need it, and if you do need it, you can just literally buy it off the market for silver. Like, people sell comma blessings all the time. Sometimes they're just sitting up here. Yeah, sometimes they're just sitting on the market. You can get them like instantly. You get them on the same day. The same thing with the Book of Old Moon. Don't recommend buying that off the Pearl Shop either. You can just buy that off the Pearl Shop. I mean, off the marketplace with money. People sell them. It's really easy. The value pack is the only one that you could buy if you wanted to. It's really, really good. But you can play without it for sure, and then use the loyalty one every 30 days or so. Because you can get one of the value packs from the loyalties store. So what you do is you basically let everything sell on the marketplace. So if I'm selling a bunch of items in the marketplace, as long as you don't collect them, you're fine. It's not going to tax you. The second you click collect on the button, that's when it taxes you. So you just stock up a bunch of stuff, don't click collect, activate the one use value pack, collect everything, and then go back to free to play playing. It's super easy to do. Highly recommend it, guys. If you're not going to buy a value pack, that is. This Old Moon Treaty token, this is just a 5% drop rate that you get for adding 2-factor to your account. Of course, I'm going to recommend you add 2-factor to your account. People get their accounts hacked all the time. It's less so now that 2-factor is in the game. It's basically an incentive for putting 2-factor on your account. I highly recommend doing this, as it protects the account that you're going to spend hundreds to thousands of hours potentially playing on, guys. So, node investment. It'll tell you what level drop rate you have for the node that you're currently standing in. This is your EXP boost event, so it'll tell you if there's an EXP boost going on. In this case, there is. This is your Agris Fever. When you start out, it should be out of 50. If you do the Agris Fever journal, it'll be out of 100,000. Okay, so if you have to right click this to toggle it on, you see it gets a little like circular thing around it. That's how you know your Agris is on. And when you kill mobs, you'll make more money. You'll get more trash loot from them. The Blessing of the Morning, this is a server-wide buff that people get for doing boss blitz. So in this case, somebody defeated item calamity, or like a calamity level 7 of one of the Earth boss blitz bosses. Okay, I don't know where the... Is it this one? Black Shrine. Okay, so on the top right, I'll go over these menus real quick too. They basically did level 7 of one of the Earth bosses, which are down here. Okay, so if they did a calamity 7... and somebody beats Gumiho, for example, at Calamity 7, it gives the entire server a 20% drop rate buff. If somebody defeats one of the red ones, it's an AP buff, I think, and the other one's a DP buff. But like for an hour, it does this. So like if you can find a server that has the green one lit up, you're huge. 20% drop rate. Easy peasy. Okay. That's those. On the right side up here, this is your Black Shrine menu. Next to this is Arena of Solaire. So you can open that up too. Again, you can navigate to all this stuff in the menus too. War would be Arena of Solaire down here. I'm not sure where Boss Blitz would be. There it is. Yeah, it's in Adventure. The Old Moon Guild Adventure lesson. Okay, this is an event menu, and this is where event menus typically are. You basically can accept the item from the event. I won't go over that too much because it'll be outdated in a few weeks. This arrow up button will literally be golden, or like a golden tint if you have stuff to collect for it. But this is like your progression pass. You get stuff for doing it. It's fun. Race info. This is the Old Moon Grand Prix menu for your horse racing. This menu is the show node installation area. This is how you toggle node war borders on and off during node wars. So if you're in a T1, T2 node war guilds, it'll show you the big pillars of light. Will show all the edges of the node war. Sadly, every time you die, you have to toggle it back on again. This is your voice chat. You can talk in guild voice chat. A lot of people do not have this on. Hello? Apparently Barcode is using guild voice chat today. A lot of people do not use guild voice chat at all, but like, hey, you can just talk to your other guild members if they're online. It is a thing that is in the game. It doesn't happen very often. Black Desert video guide. I highly recommend just not messing with this. This will show you some of the basics on how to use the game, but I'll be honest with you, most of the YouTubers or the streamers will tell you how to do stuff better in a more updated fashion. But like, yeah, you can use that. And then the find NPC function is probably one of the most important menus in the top right of your screen. It's that little search bar there at the top right up next to your map right there. You can click it, and then you can go to the nearest NPC again. So if I want to go to the nearest storage menu, it just, you can see the map. It auto-pathed me to the storage keeper over there. And it's like, oh no, I actually want to go to the wharf. Okay, well, it'll auto-path you to the nearest wharf manager. Okay, well, I want church buffs. Okay, well, it'll auto-path you to that. I highly recommend just like, if you want something like, I want a skill instructor. Okay, now I'm just going to hit T and let Jesus take the keyboard. Okay, that's how you find stuff. You can also just type the exact name of an NPC down here and find the closest version. Right, Jatina is a good example. Okay, and it'll tell you all the different locations for Jatina. I want to know where Jatina and Heidel is. Please take me there. T. Okay, and then your character will run straight there. It's great. Yeah, you can right click it too. On the top right, your minimap, there is technically a 2D minimap, and there is a 3D minimap. Okay, so this is the 3D minimap. This is the 2D minimap. You want the 2D one. Some people say use the 3D one. They swear by it. I think that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Some people say that it used to add FPS to their game. Whether or not that's true it's probably true, but like, it's I'm pretty sure the 2D minimap is actually overlaid over the 3D minimap. So if you hide the 2D one, you might get like 3 or 4 more FPS. The only people that care about that are warriors with their chastity belt on too tightly. If you want to change servers, you can go up into the top right up here. If you want to hide your server, you can hide all this stuff too. So when you come down to the storage keeper, there's a lot of selections that you can make across the bottom of your screen. Usually the chat, you'll see a chat thing. That's usually a good indicator for when you're questing. If you have to talk, like if you can't figure out what to do and just talking to them didn't do it, you have to click chat. Then you can continue spamming R like a degenerate. Currency exchange is where you want to sell your gold bars. Okay. Storage is where you can move things in and out of storage. If you have the Magnus unlocked, this side unlocks over here, and you can move things in and out of any storage that you want at any time in the game. Okay. Transport function allows you to transport to transport items from one village to another. This really isn't used very often anymore because you can use the Magnus instead. I highly recommend if you want to move large amounts of stuff to one town to another, call your horse. Put your horse right next to the stable keeper. Open the storage. It'll be a mount inventory button. You can click that. Okay. And you can actually overstack your horse. So if I want to move something from, let's say I want to move something from Heidel to Calpheon. I want to move 44,000 ash timber to Calpheon. Okay. Well, I can just click and drag this to my horse. He's carrying it. Then you click on Calpheon right here. And then you just click and drag it into the Calpheon storage. And you're done. That's how you move stuff. Okay. Really, really simple. Really, really simple. Like that's the fastest way to do it. Now, if you want to move everything, let's say you want to organize your inventory really fast, you can click auto move all or auto move current. If you click auto move all, well, I don't have any items to auto move, but I'll take out a few items. I'll take out like 20 of these. I'll take out 20 of those. I'll take out some items in Drigan or in Grana. I'll take out some items in Valencia. Okay, so now I have a bunch of items in my inventory that I don't want. Okay. If I just want to move all those, I can click auto move. It will tell you where it's about to put all of those items, and you could just click auto move, and then they will move out of your inventory into whatever storage you want. So for this reason, I recommend designating towns to hold certain storages. For example, my Grana storage, Kama Sylvia storage, this is where I store all my cooking stuff. So like all of my cooking stuff, when I click auto move, it all just goes to the correct place. Okay. For Drigan, I have all of my elixirs here. So everything is in the same place. I don't have to worry about going to look for it in every city. You just organize it once, put it in the one place that you want it one time, and then the game will organize it for you over time. Very, very simple. You can do a conversation. This is what we call the Amity game. Don't go here, Simba. This is the dark place. Moving on. You have the give gift. Don't recommend this menu either. This is typically used for trying to get like favor, like you're trying to confess feelings for this NPC. You can technically date NPCs in the video game, believe it or not. You don't want to date this guy. He's not even bald. But if there's a waifu that you particularly like, believe it or not, you can go wave at them. The only NPC in the entire game that you can't actually go wave at is Furia right here. This Phyra in Portaferia, and you can't go wave at her because I will come find you in game because she is mine. And there are many like her, but that one is mine. Okay, so not her. Okay, but everyone else is fair game. You can go after anybody else. But the best way to pick up bitches in BDO is to basically just walk up to them and wave at them. I'm gonna walk up to one very important lady. What kind of date? It gives you a special title that has that particular NPC's name in it, like their chosen or their boyfriend or whatever. I forget exactly what it does, but like it does. I'm fairly certain it gives you a title for like a week. If you have them, you have to have the most amity with that NPC on the whole server. Now this is Carolyn. Okay, she's a cheap hooker. Okay, all you really have to do to get NPC with Carolyn is you just hit F5 and you wave at the bitch. Okay, she gets really happy. You see how she nodded to me? You get amity with them. This is it works for every NPC of the game. You just hit F5. Yeah, what up, bitch? Okay, yeah, you wave at her. You see the little green arrow. I'm losing energy every time I do this, but I get amity. Once you're at 25 amity with Carolyn, and this will do this for multiple NPCs in the game, you click chat with her. She'll actually give you a Carolyn kindness buff. Okay, this again, NPCs will do this. You click the Carolyn kindness buff, and this particular one gives you critical hit damage plus 10%. Not critical hit rate, critical hit damage. And since in PvP and in PvE, most of your stuff is critting 100% of the time because you set it up that way. This is basically just 10% more damage all the time. So again, you just wave at her a few times and she puts out. It's great. But like there are various things. If you wave at NPCs, they'll sell you certain items that they wouldn't before, and things like that. This is the blacksmith. You can repair at the blacksmith. This can be kind of confusing for new players. If you click repair, it'll ask you what you want to repair. You just click it, select it all, and then click it repair. It repairs literally everything for you. If you click repair max durability, you can, if your durability is not at maximum, I know these are never at maximum durability. Let's grab those. So if I want to repair maximum durability, you can see my hunting clothes. I can put this in here, and usually you need memory fragments. But like it'll repair the maximum durability on whatever clothes that you whatever that you put in here. So that's how you kind of get durability back. This is the crystal menu. Okay, you just click the plus button on whatever crystal menu that you want. Okay, this is my experimental one, so this is what it's going to look like when you start. Okay, you won't have certain crystal slots unlocked yet. Land of the Morning Light will unlock 2 of them, and then getting a Garmoth heart will unlock the other 2. Thoughts and prayers. You click plus, you click the crystal that you want to put in there, boom, slam it in there. Basically, when you get a crystal for the main story, just slam it in here, okay? If you want a full like crystal setup, I have a gear and progression guide. You can go look at those. Those are still pretty up to date on what you can do. No, I would not like to save those. There's also an artifact inventory as well. So like all of your artifacts are in here. You can make artifact presets by clicking edit preset and then placing 2 artifacts in the preset. And you're good to go. And then you can just click equip, and then they'll just equip. No problem. If you want to, here's how many lightstones you have in your inventory. Infusion. Okay, so on the bottom left, infusion down here. Damn, bro, 7 years, man. This is ridiculous. Yeah, you can right click a lightstone. That's how I usually do it. I usually just right click a lightstone in my inventory. I was like, oh shit, bro, how do I even do this? You click infusion. You can actually put lightstones in here. And you can equip 2 lightstones to each artifact, okay? And then it'll give you a set effect. Which set effect you want is entirely based on the class and your playstyle and things like this. So in this particular case, I have all HP ones in here. This is my capped HP set. So I have a massive amount of like maximum HP for capped PvP because I already meet all the other PvP stats. But like you're going to want different ones for PvP and PvE. Again, recommend the gear and progression guide for that, or you can just come ask me on my channel. I'll probably have to make a separate guide for that entirely. Okay, so like Liana's tool bag. Yeah, nobody cares. That's a life scaling thing. It's like a quest you can go to. Yaz's pouch is basically just, you can put combinable items in here. It'll show you all the combinable items you have in your inventory, and you can just put them in here and organize them real quick. And then you can put them together very quickly, and you can put together multiple at a time. So if I have like 500 relic crystal shards in my inventory, and I put 5 of them in a plus, I can literally combine all 500 of them at once. Well, actually, you can only have like 192 inventory slots, but you get the idea. That's what Yaz's pouch is useful for. You can combine a lot of items at once like that. This is your repair alchemy stone, this little thing. This is recharges your alchemy stone. So as you use alchemy stones, they lose durability. So if I put this in here, you can gas it up with stuff like oh, I happen to have both of them. Either Vel's fine powder or mystical spirit powder. You get mystical spirit powder by grinding spirit stones in most cases. So you can grind up the blue ones. Blue grades give you way more than the other ones, so you just buy the min price ones, though I recommend buying usually the life spirit stones are, oh, they're all sold out. Tragic. But yeah, you basically just grind those up. I recommend when you're a new player is just use the destruction spirit stones. Those cannot be gassed up, but when they run out of durability, don't just throw them away. They'll go red in your inventory. Grind them. Open your processing menu with the L button. You can click grind, and then you can literally just grind them up. Okay? Even when they have no durability, and they will give you mythical spirit powder. And then later, you can use that mythical spirit powder to gas your Vel's heart up. Okay? Dye palette. You're never going to use that menu. You're going to have Merv's palette. Totem of the Sea. Don't worry about that. That's, I don't even know. What is this for? Ships that offer special effects with move speed. Yeah, don't worry about that. Production activity. Yeah, so this is production menu. This is your L menu. Okay. Your L menu allows you to do different types of things. You're going to need this for the main storyline. Okay. Simple alchemy. Simple cooking is something you need very early in the main storyline in a lot of cases. You just right click the item in your inventory and you put it in there. You can do shaking, grinding, all the different stuff. Once you've done something once, it'll show you the recipe all the time, basically. So like I've made Manos butcher knives before, so like it'll show me what I need to make that. Okay. Your K menu is your skill menu. Your Y menu, this is your collection tab. You should try to open this every day and collect your stuff. You pretty much always want the combat EXP one, and if you're below level 56 or below level 60, you want to pick up this every day too. This is just like 100% EXP boost for existing. Also, your loot scrolls and stuff will be in here. If you hit B, it'll open your mail and your Black Spirit safe. I highly recommend leaving stuff. Most new players collect stuff from their Black Spirit safe all the time. Understand that this is an infinite storage for you. Okay? If you collect it from this, then you have to put it somewhere. Okay? Like, if you don't use it right away, you got to put it somewhere. It's annoying. Okay? This is like, you should think of this as the room of requirement. Alright? Like, you really don't want to pull shit out unless you need it. Okay? In Harry Potter, you walk in, there's a bunch of shit in there, but they only take what they need and then they walk back out again. Okay? That's what you do. Okay? You need money? Sure. You need Cron Stones? They're right there. You need a Gosphy? Sure. There he is. But you'll notice, I don't take anything out of here unless I need it. Because it's infinite storage all the time if I need it. And I can collect it on any character, so it doesn't matter. It's a bag of holding. Exactly. Basically your bag of holding. I wouldn't collect stuff unless you absolutely need to. Very quickly, we will go over... oh, you know what? I should go over how the throwing away items work. You can click the trash bin, and you can throw away multiple items at once. So, like, if I want to throw a bunch of stuff away, I can just, like, select all this stuff at the same time. Throw that away, throw that away. I can throw all this stuff away. You can throw away, like, 20 items at a time. Okay? I escape, because I don't actually want to throw all that stuff away. If you open your Black Spirit with the comma button on your keyboard, you can see... main quest right here. That's very important. Obviously self-explanatory. This is your normal quest tab. The exchange tab will allow you to exchange energy for skill or combat EXP if you want it, if you're power leveling or whatever. Let's see. The enhancement tab. This is the devil's menu. Item reform. You can like basically reform your items with Garmoth's heart, make them ultimate. You probably shouldn't be doing this. If you find yourself doing this, you've up, please lift the flap of the VCR and pull your penis out. Go back to step 1. But like really you're only going to use this for Garmoth's heart and for enhancing your accessories. There's a guide menu that will help you like learn the basic systems of the game, but you're not really going to use that very often. You're probably just going to look up a guide. By the end of the year I'll have guides on every single life skill in the game, so I recommend just looking at those because they're going to be way better than those. Okay, now oh god damn it. Okay, now the bottom right, bro. There's so much shit going on. You know, I never realized it before, but like in the bottom right of your screen, there's this dumbass floating die. I hate this. This is the Black Spirit Adventure. It's really frustrating, and my OCD triggers every time you click acquire. Click the button, make the die go away. That's how that works. Okay. You're also gonna have, this is your dark rifts. I think that's like your armor durability. Is that right? Yeah, that'll just open your inventory basically. You'll have your Black Spirit down here. You got your friends list. This guy wants to be my friend. Sure, love him. Collection of tales. Oh yeah, this is for your Land of the Morning Light quest line. I'm not sure why that's there permanently, but hey, here it is. Quest list. We'll go over that in a second. Central market notifications. You can notify. You can have the market notify you when certain items are listed. Not something that's used very often anymore, but of course the Pearl Shop is down here, and then of course your setting menu is down here too. Okay, let's go over the quest menu real quick. You hit O to open your quest menu. We hate this menu, but like this bottom bar you need to click all quests on. If you have trouble or you're like, hey, the NPC doesn't have the quest that I want, it's because this is not checked right here. 99% of the time, that's what it is. You can also check your main story quests, suggested, recurring, and new, and your ongoing quests as well. So you can surrender quests as well, and like auto path. Okay, but I recommend just clicking the dude to auto path to the next quest. Makes it way easier. Like if you're doing the main quest, especially when you're a new player, which you probably are if you're watching this guide. Okay, if I want to accept one of the main story quests, I have not done the Medaya quest. I can literally just click the dude on this right side. It'll just come up here. You can literally just click the dude and it will take you to the next quest. Okay, so yeah, see, I can literally just click the dude right here, boom, and it'll literally auto path me to the next quest. That's what I recommend to do every single time. Just auto path to the next quest, auto path to the next quest. That so many people around, okay, I gotta open it, I gotta gotta find it, now we're gonna move to that shit. Just hit the dude, bam, and you're going. And if you have to open the Black Spirit, it'll open the Black Spirit for you. Bada bing, bada boom, you're on a speed run. Easy peasy, fast questing. So the chat menu is important. Okay, so you click the, if you want to open the chat menu, you mouse over the chat like this. Okay, and there'll be a settings button right here. You click the settings button. You can change the color that you want the various things to be if you want to. Like my alliance chat is set to yellow. And you can also turn off various features as well. So if you don't want to see every single item that you pick up, if you don't want to see the items that everyone else is picking up, if you don't want to see any of this stuff, I should have covered this earlier in the guide, I apologize. You can unclick all this shit, and I highly recommend unclicking all of this crap. The only things that are important are guild, maybe private item and party item, like maybe, right? I have multiple chat windows, so you can see on the left side of my screen here, I have one for chat group, I have one for my alliance chat, so you can see that I have whisper, guild alliance, guild, party, in general. These are the big ones. Okay, these are the only ones you really want on. Guild alliance, whisper, general, party, guild. That will do everything for you. Server chat and world chat, you enter at your own risk. You know what you signed up for. Okay, just be aware. Notice is also a good one to have on too, because they do put out notices in the game, and it'll come up in your chat if you miss it on your screen. It'll come up in one of your chats, so you should probably have that on. If you're wondering what the staff chat is, that's if you're a staff in-game, you can actually talk to only other staff members, like the Elite Cool Kid Club, if you have the staff chat on and your staff are better in your guild. There's also like officer chat too. I guess that's what that is. Arsha chat is Arena of Arsha chat. System, this is like whether or not you are getting certain items or other people are getting certain items. Again, turn all that shit off. I have font size big because I'm old and I don't like to squint in order to read my shit. Chat scroll animation, I have deactivate that. Emoji animation, I like having emojis on. And this is an important one. Showing timestamp is a really big one. Having timestamps on so that you know when people said stuff, because sometimes chat, nothing's said for a long time. You come back to your computer and then you see something. You're like, oh, somebody just said that, and then they don't respond to you and it's super awkward. So you can see timestamps if you put this here. Here's your block list right here. If you want to unblock somebody, you can see I have a collection of people like General Grievous. of people that I have blocked. You can block or you can unblock people there as well. And then you can choose your chat group here as well. What is a chat group? So it allows you to enter a chat group. Basically allows you to talk to other people. It's a group of anyone on the server can join that particular chat group, but you can only be a part of one chat group at a time. You can basically ask questions in the chat group, and people will give you answers. That's basically how it works. Okay. The problem with the chat group is a lot of people like to troll you. And it can be a little bit of a degeneracy fest. So I would warn you. I think the Lunar Halo Inn's probably the most degenerate of them, but you will get solid answers. They've tried to clean that up recently. It's a little bit better now. I'm in the Dancing Marlin chat group because they tell us what Dancing Marlin are kind of homies because they tell us where the guild missions are. This is your guild menu, by the way. You'll figure this out when you join a guild. But this little scroll one is the missions icon. This is where you would accept guild missions and whatnot. That's basically all you're really going to need to know. Let's do this real quick. This is your character's stats. How long you've been logged in. So you can see how long it's been since you've touched grass. All of your different character stats are here. Your item drop rates at the bottom. All your different resistances and stuff. Family fame is kind of important because it gives you more marketplace tax reduction. And item drop rate. So you see I have the maximum there at 7,000. It's very good. You increase your family fame primarily by leveling up characters, but you can also do it by leveling life skills on different characters. Soon life skills will be combined into family-wide life skills, and family fame will be redone a little bit there, but leveling up your life skills, getting characters leveled up, that's generally how people level up their family fame. Also doing quests and stuff like that. You can also see, if you click on this one, you can see all your life skilling levels. If you'd like to learn more, you can see what your mastery is in every life skill. Okay. Alternatively, you can click rankings and you can see where your ranking is on the various leaderboards for different life skills on every server. Right now, like I said, life skills are not combined, so it's difficult to tell how you match up with other players at the moment unless you're on the character that you do that life skill on. I have a cooking alt, for example. Obviously, I don't cook on this character. Fashion and BDO. Okay, yeah, so your J menu allows you to change your fashion. Okay, so you can change the color of the various parts of your outfit, and obviously this character's underwear. You got your helmet, stuff like this. Okay, if you want to hit F4, you can change the way your character physically looks. This is not going to change your outfit. It will just again change the way your character physically looks. So like if there are certain aspects of your character's body that you would like to change, you can slide it back and forth. You have to do that in a safe zone though. Which outfit is that? This is the Oblivion outfit with the golden, the glorious shoot-ad staff. All right, that's a wrap on my UI guide, guys. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. If I left anything out, I'll pin your comment and I'll answer it so that everybody can see. Really appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Love you guys. See you in the next one.